In this video, let us learn about filtering the data in API using our request URL. So, let me open Postman and see. This is our get API tours. I am getting the data. I have number of tours 9. So, filtering based on queries. I think most of you all have seen in URL if after question mark, if any query if you want to provide, that will be there. For example, here price is equal to 97, so you can mention in query price is equal to 397. And if you want to mention number of filters, then we can give as and symbol. And for example, rating is 4.5, rating equal to 4.5. If I let me first console log it in our get all tools, I will show you how will that object will look. Console.log, simply use that request dot query. It is the object that will store the query part of this URL simply in an object format. If I save it and database is running, connection may be successful. Now let me click send. See, till now we have filtered it. That is why same data is reflecting number of tours 9. But if you go to here terminal in console, there is an object C. Price is 397 and rating is 4.5, which is nothing but we have provided using question mark symbol. That is nothing but query 397 and 4.5. That is the same has been logged. So we will use this query object and filter the data. See, first let us take simply a variable cost query object which will store that query object request dot query. Actually, we need to store it in another duplicate variable because, for example, there will be number of queries like pagination, limit, all those we do not consider in query part because number of pagination will be handled through UI. So we will exclude those queries which are not handled in API. So whenever we are deleting those type of paginations or limit, then we should make a duplicate object of that query object. Then we can delete from here, but original query will be present as it is. That is why we will use. If you remember, this dot 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 means it is a destructuring object. After destructuring, you can again save these in a new format of object. If I console log it and show you, it will look same as that query object. This dot dot will include like destructuring along with that. For example, if I write here one object, or if I write here at last, for example, globe, something like that. Let me first console log it and save and show you. Control S. Now go to Postman and again send the same query. Now see that duplicate object has been stored. Our requested query and this query object look same. can use a filter delete option. Having this, uh, there will be some properties like that is like page, limit, and sort and fields. And there are many more. We will see those in later sessions. So now let me remove these console statements. Now let us delete if in query these variables included, then we need to delete them and perform our request, get request. So let me perform excluding queries. This is an array, so for each of the element I will take, and inside that there will be elements, each and element. In MongoDB we have a simply delete statement, delete, and we can mention which we want to delete. Delete very object of element which you want to delete. Simply you can mention that, and now we can directly choose. First of all, after deleting, first store a query. Now this is the query object, or you can write rule dot find of query, small letters, query object, and now we can directly stores, we can provide the result from that query. So simply write like that. Now we can set response as it is stores. See, now let me save it. Restarted. Let me restart it. Yeah, DB successful now. Let me execute the same command. Now this only the first tour should come, because we have filtered only price is 397 and rating is 4.5. Query object is not a function. Okay, right? Query object. Okay, here we have mentioned this is an actually object, right? Just you can mention. Yeah, this is about filter. If I see, if I enter page 10 and if I send response, again it will give same result, because we are deleting that page here from this query object. See, for each of delete, every element it will take and delete from the query object if it consists one among these array of strings, page, limit or sort. We have entered base, so it is deleted and given the same result. So let me advance these filters. Now what if in filters, for example in query, instead of this rating equal to 4.5, if I mention like this, like less than LT 4 or greater than 4, for example, greater than or equal to 4, then if I console log it, I will show you. Console dot log same request dot. If I save it, and now if I go to postman and send, it will fail because we have not handled. See, here in greater than or equal to a parameter came and 4 rating, inside rating. See, rating, it is another object of greater than, value of 4. But in our MongoDB, if you remember from last session, we will use dollar symbol before this greater than or equal to. So now we need to first we have got that query object. So we need to replace any greater than or less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, all those parameters with before dollar symbol. So we cannot perform a dollar replace function or replace method on this object. So we need to convert first this object into string. For that we have in JavaScript there is a built-in function JSON.stringify. So first we have got this query object, we have deleted unwanted strings. Now let me const query string, which is JSON.stringify that query object. We will modify this query string, right? So let me use let. So let query string equal to stringify. Now string it will come. If you want, I will show you console.log this query string. Now if I save it, if I go to Postman and save, of course it will fail. See, it is completely now a string. See, every parameter string, price is string and 397 is string, rating is string and this is string and this is string. This page has not come because after deleting we have console it. That is why the page has not come. Now after string converting into string format, now let us perform query string is equal to query string dot replace all those parameters we need to replace. If there is any present like less than or LT or GT or GTE or FT. So it's better to use regular expressions. This is the most complex part in JavaScript. If you know, it will be okay. If you don't know, you can Google or Stack Overflow. You can use. Every time I will go into the Stack Overflow for this regular expressions. So for this, first inside this, let us no quotations needed. Inside this slash slash, simply whatever you need to like GT or LT or GTE or LTE. If any one of these present, if any one of this present, you can use this P. And after this, all these, for example, here there is two parameters like LT and GTE. Then it should perform both of them with replacing dollar symbol. So you need to use slash after G. Otherwise it will only convert or replace this GT into first which will it will come, that will replace with dollar symbol and leave it. So after getting you can use a callback function here, for example this query or string which will replace str. On this you can use return. No need to write return, we can use single line statement, simply return dollar and that string. That's it. This is a replace string, but we cannot pass the string into our tool to find, right? We need to send of course the query object format. So again convert this query string or again query object. us use this query object. This is also let us make it length because we are modifying it. Now query string sorry JSON dot again parse into objects. JSON dot parse this query string. Now let us pass this query object again. Now if I save it and now if I go to Postman and see rating greater than or equal to 4. If there is any rating with 4 then it will come, otherwise no data will come. See, one data came, we mentioned 4. Okay, it is taking round of this rating, that is why it is returning this. See, it is taking 4 only. What if mention GT only, like greater than 4, then it is returning only 1. Let me log it once console. This query object console dot log of query object. It has crashed. Again, terminated. Routing successful. Not person. Of course, it is coming GT4 rating, and this is rating. What if we use less than? Let's see. Yeah, okay. It is working because there are no ratings that are less than 4. Let me use less than 5. Only one it is coming. Okay, we have mentioned price, right? Let me remove this price. Remove this tag. Let me send again. Yeah, now see. All the ratings that are less than 5 came. I mentioned equal, greater than no, or equal to like 0 or this. Or if I use 4. Yeah, now all the ratings which are having 4 greater than or equal to 4, then they are having 9 those are there and they are